Looks like we're live. Brian, can you do this?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for Scioto County and everybody that lives in it, Lord. We just pray that you're with those that are hurting, and we just pray for those that are sick, Lord, and we just pray for our country and our men and women that are on the front line, Lord. There's a lot going on, but we know your hand is in it. Lord, we just pray as we sit at this table, you just give us guidance and wisdom to do what is best for this county and for its citizens. We give you all the praise and the glory. In your holy name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, good morning and welcome to our April 14th Commissioners meeting. I know you've had time to review the minutes, so I'd like to get started with the approval of the minutes from April 7th.
Sir, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted by our clerk.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Any comments or questions on item 2? Hearing none?
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation of funds,
There's a couple items I'd like to drag out here that are not typical under this one. There's a request for an RFID from the sheriff's office for the jail. This is in the amount of $37,021. This is a technology to put into the jail that will assist our corrections officers as they manage the population, they manage their rounding, it gives us robust reporting. It makes them more efficient, more effective. Had the opportunity to talk with the sheriff. This is something we see in other locations and something that we currently don't have. So we're currently relying on paper reporting and paper rounding. So this would get us basically our technology upgraded. Also in that conversation was a request for, it reads as 3 new corrections officers, so it's 3 new FTEs for corrections officers, but when we dig into the overtime and the cost offset, we'll actually save money by hiring 3 versus the cost of the overtime that we've already incurred just this quarter. It'll be about a $50,000 savings roughly over the course of a year just by eliminating overtime. So I did want to kind of draw that out. We appreciate Sheriff Thurman and all the work they do, not just in the jail, but also, of course, out in the county as well. Any comments or questions on appropriations?
My understanding from talking to the chief deputy separately was this will allow them, they will actually go in and, like when they deliver meals or they check on the inmates in the cells, that they actually scan a card. It documents, and it goes along with the compliance requirements for during jail inspections. They want to be able to see that documentation. Right now it's paperwork heavy, as you mentioned. This will actually reduce those documents and those reports in a more automatic way, and they'll be able to store that information electronically. So it'll help them a lot in that regard. The other thing that we had talked about was burnout. When you have corrections officers that are on overtime all the time, they're getting burnt out, they're getting tired, and that's not healthy either for them. So by adding these FTEs, we'll be able to eliminate that overtime, give them a break, really. I mean, that's what they need. The jail's been running at north of 200 for a while now, and they're tired, and this will definitely help that. And I appreciated the comments that I heard on that because, we're dealing with that across the range of services, not just in our jail, but also law enforcement, first responders. Everyone's tired and they need a break. So this is our way of helping the sheriff do that. And I'm glad this is being brought up today because we definitely need to help them. So.
Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none?
I'd make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation, transfer of funds,
Any comments or questions on item number 4? Hearing none?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing the Scioto County Engineer to request the Director of the Ohio Department of Transportation to review engineering and traffic investigation regarding Maple Benner Road, County Road 64.
So as you heard, this is a request to have ODOT do a traffic study, Maple Benner Road. Any comments or questions?
This is due to increased traffic and unfortunately increased speeds on this road, as well as item 6. We've had requests from citizens to say, please, we have children, we have people trying to cross the road, and unfortunately too many people are driving speeds to where they're trying to straighten the road with their cars. So it's dangerous. So this will definitely, out of this, we'll get a recommended speed limit and speed limit signs. So it's a good thing.
Any additional comments? Hearing none?
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing the Scioto County Engineer to request the Director of the Ohio Department of Transportation to review engineering and traffic investigation regarding Miller's Run, Back Run Road, County Road 27.
As you heard Commissioner Davis mention, this is the same request due to the increased speeds and traffic of Miller's Run, Back Run Road. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of communication from Dave Miller requesting permission for AEP to run electric service from the Commissioner's secondary electric pole located on Fort Hill Road.
Brian, can you get a microphone available for Mr. Miller? This is a request for Mr. Miller. Thank you for coming today, by the way. To essentially run electric off a pole that we already have in existence to your property versus putting in a secondary pole that's further away. This is up on adjacent property there on Fort Hill Road. I know there's some questions regarding this request because of the project you're working on.
Yeah.
So if you want to take over some discussion here, I'd appreciate it.
Very quickly, and I don't know if you know about this, we did mention in one of our meetings here recently, we are looking at putting a Marks Tower on the other site, I believe on the other side of the road where there's another tower over there. It's a Marks Communications Tower. It's going to be much taller than the one we have now. This one will be 300 feet tall, but the concern is the construction that'll come from that. But you're saying that you're on the south side or the right side of the road coming up from the high school?
Yes, I'm on the south side, would be the right side of the road coming from the high school.
Okay.
So do we believe that this will or will not interfere with a potential Marks enhancement?
I don't think.
So
I don't see how.
So the Marks Tower is on the north side of the road?
Yeah, we're going to be replacing that one, is
Oh,
my
okay.
understanding. Yeah, because it's done. And I think the tower on the south side's probably reaching life's end, if not.
Well, I know it used to be the state tower, then they transferred it.
Yeah, and we're trying to increase our Marks coverage for all the agencies in the county and increase communication because we have some donut holes up 139, elsewhere throughout the county where going 300 feet up is going to really light up a major part of the county. This was recommended by Marks to cover those I call them donut holes. They're blind spots. They're
Right.
places that can't get coverage now. And our sheriff, EMS, others, they'll be driving down the road and all of a sudden they lose communication. And that's not good. That's vitally important that they maintain communication. So you get a high-speed chase going at 139, you have converging units, you have different agencies with mutual aid. All of a sudden they go blind, and it's not good. So we're trying to fix that. So
Take care of all those blind spots.
yes, and what I would recommend, I just want to make sure I don't have a problem, one, as long as we don't have any impediments, and I don't think that's the case here. I really don't, but I would like to receive the communication, but research it and get you an answer in short order.
Okay.
Okay. we can find this out relatively quick. I need to talk to the sheriff's department. Doug Buckle is our 911. He's the specialist on towers. So, okay, so I just want to talk to him first and make sure that we're okay. And if not, I mean, if we are, then yeah, I mean,
Well,
I don't have a problem with it.
There was an amateur radio group leasing that.
Mhm.
Are they still leasing? Or I saw where they were canceled.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Again, that's another question I can ask Doug about that. Yes, they were. I know they was on there as a ham radio operator tower. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from them in a year.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, well, the leader of that group had passed away.
mm,
And, well, I'd talked to him before, and I'm in a group in West Virginia,
okay.
which, well, we could do the same thing there, but we just meet quarterly, I noticed there for a while, there wasn't nothing going on over there. And-
There's a couple of different amateur radio groups in the county. I don't, and again, like I said, I don't know the update. We can talk to Larry Mullins too, our EMA director. He probably does know exactly
Well, I think so.
what's going on with them. But we'll research it, Mr. Miller. We'll get back to you in very short order because I know you want to move on this to get this done. So,
Right.
and then AEP, you talk to them. Who knows when they're going to schedule it? You know, it's.
Well, they can schedule pretty.
Oh,
pretty
can
soon,
they?
yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
Because I've been talking with them, they came out and he said, well, if you get this, you get a pole here, if not, you have to get a pole over here.
Yes,
It's a
right.
30-foot pole, which is very expensive. I've got a 21-foot pole right now,
Okay,
which would be okay, because you have to clear that Fort Hill Road is what the problem is.
Right.
yeah,
So without, I wouldn't be able to clear it with a 21-foot pole.
okay. All right, well, let's,
Yeah, I think it's wise to take a week, make sure we're laying eyes on it, looking
Yeah.
at it, to make sure it doesn't interfere with other potential projects. And but we'll definitely get you an answer, and it's very appreciative that you're coming here and talking and kind of
Yeah,
sharing and
thank
walking
you.
through, because I know there was some questions, but I think that hopefully clears some of it up. With that, then,
we do have a lot and a parcel number on the letter, right? That-
there is
I
a parcel
believe
number
there
on
is
the
a parcel
letter.
number, okay.
Yeah.
We'll investigate it. We'll know before next Thursday.
Yeah, next week.
We'll be able to let you know, but we won't be able to act on it until next Thursday.
All right,
Okay?
all right, thank you.
Yeah, that's possible. Thank you. With that, can we get a motion to accept the communication from Mr. Miller?
I would make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Hi.
In the matter of reappointment to the Portsmouth Public Library Board,
This is a reappointment request from Ryan Sammons to continue serving on the Public Library Board. Ryan and his family are such an asset to our community. They serve in so many different ways, and this is just another way in which he continues to serve. So I appreciate his efforts, not just at the library board, but quite honestly throughout our community. That's truly a family making a difference where they can, and so I just appreciate him, and I would support this. Are there any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Hi.
In the matter of request for fund transfers,
Any comments or questions on item 9? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of amending resolution adopting a revised fee schedule for appointed legal counsel reimbursement to reflect revisions in attorney fees.
This is a conversation that's been ongoing regarding indigent defense. There's been a request by the judges to increase the hourly rate for our public defenders. The question has always been whether or not it is truly funded at 100%. We are told that no, it's not. It was funded at 100% of the current spend. It is an expenditure line item in the budget. Since other counties have increased their rates, we know that line item will be depleted before the end of the year, so there will be a percentage that will hit the county. We're being told that's at least going to be a 90-10 split. I know that our friends and our companions at CCAO, our association, is working to remedy that. But in the meantime, to be conservative, I don't feel comfortable going straight to the top of where we could go. But at the same time, I do appreciate and recognize the hard work that our public defenders do. So this is amending the resolution for a fee schedule to change the reimbursement to $55 an hour for out-of-court services and $65 an hour for in-court services effectively May 1st, 2022. That's a $5 increase on each item. They haven't seen an increase since 2016.
16.
So, it's a roughly 10% increase, a little less on the in-court, but it's something, and then it gives us the opportunity to show our appreciation, but at the same time, take a measured approach to really what happens in Columbus regarding this line item. Any comments or questions?
I think it's a fair approach, I really do. When you align it with what others have received over the same period of time, those that work for the county as well, they receive a certain percentage, COLA basically, cost of living. So it's very much in line with that. The other thing we have going on is public defenders are becoming scarce. They're becoming harder and harder to get. That's not just a Scioto County problem, that is a statewide problem. So with that issue, we really, I think this is a good move. The other thing that's happening is because we are expanding in our special victims unit, our children's services, where we've hired another attorney there to try to get children to permanency faster. Special victims unit, we have an attorney there that is dedicated to nothing but that, because a lot of the fallout from the opioid epidemic, and then just really bad actors out in the community also doing unsavory things. Those attorneys have been mostly sniped from defense counsel, so it's a catch-22 here, and it's a delicate balance we're trying to hold here, and it's tough, but it's not just us. We are hearing this all across the state. When I go to County Commissioner Association meetings, a lot of the commissioners are dealing with this right now. It's a major problem in their community. And so they are a lot of them have taken measured approaches like we are today to, try to find that delicate balance and then wait and see what the state does. I said it before and I'll say it again. If we fall into a recession, the state runs into problems down the road, which these things are cyclical. We always see the ebb and flow of government. It happens all the time. One of the first things the state will look at is decrease the share of indigent defense. It's unfortunately something they always go to. I've been around long enough. I'm old enough to remember that this is what they do, and we need to take a measured approach. And I hope that this is well received.
Thank you for those comments. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none?
I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution setting the rate for mileage reimbursement for county employees,
This is to set the mileage reimbursement for county employees up to 58 cents a mile. That is the federal standard. Our current standard is
485.
49. So it gets us in line. Clearly, gas prices have gone up. And the last thing we want is, as our county employees are traveling for county business, that it's affecting them personally. So this is an opportunity to set that right according to the federal standard. Any comments or questions?
This has always been a thing that's irked me, that we haven't been where I think we should have been all along. This has been arbitrarily low, and I think this is only right for those people that are using their own cars, vehicles, wear and tear. Nothing's getting cheaper. You mentioned mileage. You mentioned gas. That's just one issue. You go to get a repair on your own personal car now, the cost have just went skyrocketing. You go to get brakes, you go to get just standard maintenance. You have to get brakes, you have to get things like that done. Oil changes, more expensive. Everything's more expensive. So this will help offset that and help our anyone traveling. This also covers people that come in for court cases.
That's item 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, we'll get there. But it covers both, so yeah, we'll get there. Okay.
Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none?
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution setting the mileage rate for witnesses in civil cases in common pleas court, Scioto County, Ohio.
This is that one. This is the setting the mileage rate for witnesses in civil cases in the Common Pleas Court to the federal standard of 58 cents a mile. Any comments or questions? Hearing none?
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter request to attend meetings,
Any comments or questions on the request to attend meetings? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution proclaiming April 2022 as Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month in Scioto County, Ohio.
As you can see, we're all wearing our Child Abuse Awareness Month shirts in recognition, being April as Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. I have a resolution here that I'd like to read to consider. Whereas both statewide and nationally, child abuse is considered to be one of our nation's most serious public health problems, with scientific studies documenting the link between the abuse and neglect of children and a wide range of medical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral disorders. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding a solution requires input and action from everyone. And whereas the children of our community are our most precious resources, entitled to be nurtured and protected. These children will grow up to be the next leaders in this community, responsible for the protection of others. And whereas incidents of child abuse and neglect are growing in our county, state, in our country, state, county, and city, every day 5 children across this great nation die due to the abuse of the hands of caregivers. And whereas the only way to combat this evil is for everyone to take a stand and speak up for those who are unable. Whereas the majority of child abuse cases stem from situations and conditions that are preventable in an engaged, supportive community. And whereas we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. Whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and our families. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners, Scioto County, Ohio, proclaim the month of April as Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. With this matter, and I'm sure there's probably questions with what's going on with Children's Services. I can tell you that combination is going forward. There's steps in place that JFS and CPS have to take according to ORC. At one point, this just within the past couple of weeks, our population was down to the 350s from a high of high 380s. So there's been some progress there. It is now back up to 371, I think, at last ask. Also, we have, I believe, 9 or 10 adoptions that will be taking place very soon, which is very exciting for those children and for those families. And then also, there's several grants that should be awarded soon. I know that Donna Cunningham and Pat Sarasto and Marquita Riepenhoff have been working very hard on grants to support the agency. It looks like the grant that we provided support for a couple weeks ago to get basically Christmas gift cards for children will be approved. There's other grants that are looking very good to help with additional caseworker. That looks like it'll be coming through. And then there's additional grant to essentially pay for and partner with an outside agency to help with our adoptive services. So there's a lot happening there. CPS and JFS has been working great together. Director Moore Morton and Director Mantell have been partnered, communicating often, frequently. We get updates. They're digging in. Of course, Tammy is learning everything she can. Some of the requests for travel was for her to actually go and do some of the training. It's moving forward. And we'll see a year from now, hopefully, when the dust settles, that the agency is more efficient, more effective. There was something else that's going on there that I'm drawing a blank on, but maybe I'll remember here in a second. But if there's any additional comments or questions regarding this resolution, or even updates on CPS, anyway.
I would just like to add that child abuse it happens everywhere. And not always, but we can do our part as well by trying to prevent some of it as parents or grandparents or leaders in your community or in whatever walk of life you're in. If you're just more observant, be observant to the children around you. Listen to your children, listen to your grandchildren, and speak up for those that may be being abused. I know sometimes a lot of people do not want to get involved in that, but it's your duty to speak up if you think there's anything going on or anything that needs to be reported. So I just ask that you keep that in mind as we honor this month as Child Abuse Month, and be thinking of our children.
Agreed with everything that's been said. And, you know, child abuse takes a lot of forms. A lot of times people always go to the default, which is physical, but there's also the mental aspect of it. And unfortunately, we don't have great mental health services or enough mental health services for our children in our community. This is something that we've actually discussed with the governor, and not just children, but also adult mental health access is something that's definitely been needed and is needed and is going to continue to be needed in the future. But let's all, you know, look for someone that you can be a mentor to. A lot of these children, some of them, they don't come from good homes, and you can literally change the life of a young person by just showing them some love and letting them know that you care enough to invest your time and effort in them. And that can just be a kind word. You know, that would be the kind word that they need for the day. And, you know, one of the things that always bothers me or concerns me is that for every case that's submitted to CPS, there's 4 or 5 that have gone unreported. And that's always so disheartening to me. And it is to CPS as well, that a lot of times by the time they are involved, it's been a pattern of behavior that's gone on for quite some time. So it's always something near and dear to my heart, just because I've experienced it. You know, I've seen it and firsthand. So it's something that we need to be aware of. And as you said, Kathy said, see something, say something, and you'll never know, you may be saving a life, and that's important.
I remember what I forgot. Also an update with CPS. Encouraged just the staff, the JFS and CPS. The JFS staff is most worried about making the CPS staff feel welcome, and they're planning some out-of-office get-to-know-you time. That way, when, you know, should they start combining, that they at least know each other. And then also, for the first time in the history of the state, statewide JFS is paying for Accenture. It's an outside consultant to come down and work with our CPS and JFS to evaluate our processes and procedures. So this is a next step on top of what they've done with the rapid response team. So there's a lot of activity happening within the agency, and I think we can all agree that it's much needed.
And they're also reviewing themselves. Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, part of this Accenture review is being reviewed by them in conjunction with this. That is huge, that they're looking at their own policies and procedures and whether or not what they're doing is working. That's huge.
Correct.
Because that's always been a complaint.
Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
And a matter of bid award for Allegheny Hill Road culvert replacement project regarding the Scioto County engineer.
We had these bid openings last week, wasn't it? Last week we did the bid opening. This project will be awarded to Distal Construction. in the amount of $71,268 upon the recommendation of Darren O'Brien, Sauter County Engineer. Any comments or questions? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing the chairman of the Board of Sauter County Commissioners to negotiate the economic and occupancy terms of the former Fifth Third building.
This is a preemptive resolution. There's been some unofficial questions like, hey, if I'm interested in buying or leasing the Fifth Third building from the county, who do I contact? What does that look like? This would authorize essentially myself, the chairman of the Board of Commissioners, to discuss with those individuals and potentially negotiate terms to then present to the board for potential economic development. There's a lot of good things happening down on Chillicothe Street. Right now, it doesn't look so good because everything's tore up, but
Couldn't get here
yeah,
today.
but yeah, you can't get there from here. But the good thing is that Chillicothe Street is being paved. The potential projects there at Fifth Third building, it's going to breathe life back into our downtown area, and that's the goal. So this is just a resolution authorizing myself to talk to people and gives them a point person to go to as we're working through this project. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of Southern Ohio Aeronautical Regional Business Park Protective Covenants.
Speaking of economic development, Robert Horton's in the room. Hey, Robert. There's a lot going on out at SOAR Business Park. Of course, spec building is in full swing of development. The EMAS building is on site as well and is in development as well. This is to set in place park covenants. Robert, if you want to discuss just a little bit about what park covenants are, what they do for us, and just basically why we would do this.
Well, what covenants do for a business park is it protects the park and it protects the county and keeps the park so that it can be maintained in a proper fashion throughout the history of the park. It's just rules and regulations, what type buildings, maintenance, setbacks, stuff like that, and what will be allowed in the park to maintain a proper look in what you want the park to look like and be, keep trash out, that type of stuff. And it has been, you know, these covenants we've been working on for about 2 years. And you guys, of course, were a big part of that because, you know, most of that property is in the county name. So as we build out, we want to make sure that tenants that move into the park don't have to worry about having a dump site beside them. And this, these covenants allow us to legally regulate that, and if we have to, and individuals that lease or buy out there don't perform, this enables us to perform for them and charge them and be able to take action. So it's a good thing. In the private world, we did it on all our parks. I don't think I've been involved with one that never had covenants. But that's what it's all about.
And looking at the document, a lot of work went into this document. So thank you, Robert. I know you're bringing a lot of your expertise, as you said. Not one park you ever built in however many years. I'm not going to age you. However many years of building out parks, all of them have had covenants, and it's important to have standards as you're building these out. So now with 2 projects in full swing, we need to lock this down. So thank you for your work on
I
that.
think a great example would be, and this is really generic example, but that you see the building that's being built with the tan and the rock, the stone, which is very much tied in with the terminal at the airport. The first spec building will be like that. The MEAS building has the same look. It keeps everything looking nice. That prevents, and if you like the color pink, I'm sorry. But it keeps someone from building a big giant pink monstrosity right in the middle of all that, okay?
Right.
That's the kind of thing we're talking about. We're trying to keep things symmetric and looking nice and everything looks proper because that attracts more business.
Correct.
People want to
You care about your projects.
There you go.
And your property.
Yes.
And it'll also set precedents in the future for the old buildings that are already out there. I mean, we've got hangars of different type siding, and we've got a block hanger. I mean, it's mixed, and it's old. And that day is gonna come to where we're gonna want to upfit those. And, you know, you're gonna have to replace sheeting, trims. And when we do, we pertain to the covenants, we keep the look with the new park, and then as we upgrade those buildings in the future, then the entire park is constant and looks the same, and it's a very nice park.
Any additional comments or questions on the protective park governance? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of LPA federal local let project agreement between the State of Ohio Department of Transportation and the Sauter County Commissioners regarding the Sauter County engineer.
This is LPA federal local let project. As you heard, between the State of Ohio Department of Transportation and the Commissioners for the funding of a paving project. It's portions of Lick Run and Dogwood Ridge Road. The project is estimated to cost $704,161, with ODOT paying a maximum of $644,420 of the eligible cost, and the county paying $59,741 to complete the project. As you heard, that's a very small price for us to pay compared to what ODOT will be paying, but this is that's the details of this paving agreement. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to approve.
Is the 59,741 out of Darren's budget?
Yes.
I'll second. Well, when it says the county, I wanted to make sure this was, I didn't think it was, I like to clarify things. Sorry.
Darren's
I know
paying.
that sounded terrible.
Darren's
Sorry,
paying, we'll do
Darren.
it.
If you're watching, sorry, it didn't
Yeah.
mean to come across that way.
Better you than me.
Thank you.
Too funny.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution to dispose of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit county personal property regarding the Sauter County Sheriff.
Any comments or questions on 19?
Did we get a listing
We did.
of those vehicles?
We do. 19.
These are going up for auction, I suppose. That's what the deal is. Yeah, okay, I saw this. All right. I wonder if this is the last of the Ford Crown Victorias.
So, yeah, Crown Vic. If you want a Crown Vic, now's your opportunity. A demo car. Somebody might want it for a demo car.
There's 5 of them going up, so
Yeah.
they're doozies for demos. So
I think last year Crown Vic got second place. So don't, yeah.
Chargers not so much, but Crown Vics are heavy duty. So all right.
Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then and now certificates in the total amount of $421,105.12.
Any comments or questions on item 20? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of lifetime membership with Sauter 365 Sauter Foundation.
This lifetime membership to Sauter Foundation's Dynamic Community Leadership Initiative, Sauter 365, to connect, select, and positively affect to make a meaningful difference in the community. It's my understanding that this board has consistently supported this project on a year-to-year basis. This would actually just go ahead and do a lifetime membership at the cost of $3,650. Any comments or questions?
The 365 has done some wonderful projects in the community. I think last year's was Potter's House in Sodaville. All their projects that they do to feed the hungry and needy, and not just Sodaville, but everywhere. And they've done a lot of community projects. I think they helped with Romp through Mountain Park. They picked other projects in the community over. The 365, I think, is 5 or 6 years old, maybe, that particular grant. And they've done some really neat stuff with it. And it continues to be larger as far as the reserves for that continue to grow. And this is just another investment by the county commissioners to help with that. And these monies, the foundation board decides where they go, but they've always gone on to really good projects for the community to help everybody. So it's a good thing.
Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
And a matter of resolution authorizing the Board of Scioto County Commissioners to enter into a partnership agreement with the Scioto County Land Reutilization Corporation and committing matching funds for the Ohio Department of Development Brownfield Remediation Program grant.
We are in a second phase of our application process regarding the brownfield remediation there at the Coke plant in New Boston. It'll be handled mostly through the land bank since that's where the land's currently setting. But the developmental agency wants to see basically that, the commissioners agree with this project, which of course we do, but the resolution will show that. And then also they want to make sure that the matching money is already set aside for the project ask. The ask for this project is $5,985,328 to remediate that 26 acres. Is it 26
Total.
total? That's a total ask. There is a 25% match, which would be $1,496,332. But $1 million of that will be provided by the state through funds that will already be given to us through the brownfield remediation. It's guaranteed each county is at least $1 million. So we're looking at this almost $6 million project to clean the dirtiest piece of land, arguably in Ohio, at a cost to the county of $496,332. The goal would be to cap that for future development, economic development use. Once again, Robert, thank you so much for your work on this. I know this has been a ton of work, years of work, 4 years of work, getting the studies done, getting the land where it needs to be, getting to this point, and all of the work that you've put in over the past 4 years set us on a path to apply for these funds first, because there's actually 3 or 4 rounds of funding and timelines. So we were able to get our application for the first round, so thank you. Had you not been ready, we would have, who knows how long it would have taken to gather everything that's required for this grant. It's a huge opportunity for the community to finally clean that land, to bring the smokestack down, to protect our waterway, quite honestly. It's sitting right there by our water plant with the lines running through it. So thank you again. This doesn't guarantee that we're getting the grant funding, but this is a step towards that process. So they want to see the resolution and then the set aside money, the $496,332. Any additional comments or questions?
I also want to mention Angie's been very involved in that as well. Angie Malone with the land bank, and also the land bank board themselves have done a really great job. According to statute, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, the way this is set up is you have to have 2 commissioners on the land bank board. You have to have a treasurer. You have to have a trustee, representative, as well as, what am I missing? City, municipal. So the board itself we've been working on this for years and years, just trying to get to this point, and then until they came out with the brownfield remediation program, it really kind of looked like a pipe dream. It really did, to be able to come up with that kind of money to fix that site, which has been languishing for 18 years, in close proximity to a major shopping mall and everything else, and the water plant and all those things. So, I applaud the DeWine administration for what they've done with brownfield remediation and bringing this money forward. Hopefully we'll get it. We are guaranteed the $1 million, but we have applied for more, and to actually remediate the site, it's crucial that we get it done. So I applaud them for doing that through the Ohio Department of Development.
Applaud
Jim McCall.
Jim Rackakis with the Western Land Conservancy up in Cleveland, who actually is the reason we have a land bank today. Who came to us years ago, I think it was 2018, when we first established the land bank, and because of that, we've torn down over 100 blighted houses that were majorly bad in our community. We're looking to do more. We're looking at receiving another $500,000 here soon. We're waiting on word for that, and with this round of funding, we'll be able to do not just residential houses, but also commercial structures. And we are working to do that, and those commercial structures are located across the county. We've got several targeted for that are just beyond repair. There's just no way to do anything with them. So it's a good thing, and there's been a lot of hands in this, a lot of people working to try to get us to where we are. But if we get it, it's going to be a huge win, and it'll be the last portion of that, what was the former Detroit Steel site. It'll be the last part of it to be cleaned up, and this is needed. I mean, we really need to get this done. So hopefully we'll hear soon. Oh, I hope we hear soon. It's been a long time coming. And New Boston Coke transferred the last parcel to us this past week. So we now have it indeed in hand. So we're very, very happy to now own a very polluted Coke plant site. So, but this is where it starts. It's the hard work. This is the hard work that happens behind the scenes that very few people see. And it is a lot of hard work, and a lot of people put a lot of effort into this. So it is very much appreciated.
Thank you for those comments. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
Make a motion to adopt the resolution.
One second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of change order for Sauter County Engineer for slip repair Big Run Road, County Road 136, 1.41, FEMA Project 99376.
All right, we got a change order number 1, Sauter County Engineer slip repair for Big Run Road. This is a FEMA project. There will need an additional 300 feet steel beams with freight included at the price of $102.69 per foot for a total of $30,807. They're adding a 22 12-inch to bring the steel pillars to finished grade. Total cost $6,534. Additional welding labor at the cost of $19,800, and then also additional 308 feet of drilling at the cost of $23,605. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of commending Fire Chief Bill Raisin on his retirement from the Portsmouth Fire Department, IAFF Local 19.
Congratulations, Bill Raisin. 30 years of service to our community. I know he's going to be sorely missed there at the firehouse. He's been such an asset to our community, and getting the fire department and running the fire department to where it needs to be, and generally a good person too. So I wish him the best on his retirement, and maybe he just sits around and looks out the window for a little bit and then figures out something to do. But congratulations to him. Any additional comments or questions?
Yeah, congratulations to Bill. He has served the Portsmouth community well for many, many years, and I don't know what his plans are after retirement. After working as hard as he has for all these years, it may just be to rest for a little bit. But congratulations to him, and welcome Chris Lowry, who is taking over. He's got big shoes to fill there, and I think he's up to the task. Having met him, he's a good guy, and we'll see what happens. But I commend Bill for his many years of service. Congratulate him.
I'll just add almost the same thing. I just hope that Mr. Raisin takes time before he starts any other projects, and takes a little time for himself and enjoys his retirement.
Very good. With that, can we get a motion?
I will make the motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting an amended certificate from the Budget Commission,
Any comments or questions on 25? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
That is all on the agenda.
All that's on the agenda, and welcome. We got a decent crowd today. Any comments or, well, any questions rather, of items on the agenda? Hey, Betty?
Hey, good morning. Betty Smith with Souda County Daily News, thank you. On the agenda, as local high schools are taking notice of your meetings, could you please explain the then and now certificates and also what are moral obligations?
I'll let our clerk just explain all of that. I'll mess it up, I'm sure.
Yeah. Then and nows basically mean that you had the money when you purchased the item and you have it now. So you had it then, you have it now. So then it was basically encumbered and now you also have it to pay the bill. A moral means that you did not have the money when you purchased it. So now you're asking for the money to pay that bill. So most of the time, those things happen in emergencies, you know, if maintenance needs something and the money's just not there and we don't have a meeting in order to get that money there that day, then that's typically when that happens.
Okay.
It's for the most part. So.
Good question.
It is. It is one of the first questions I asked. I did whenever I came into office, and I always get it wrong. I mess it up, and she always has to correct me. But before I came into office, when I was coming and watching commissioner meetings before I ran, I remember going to Jane and saying, "What in the world is that then and now?" And there was like a good and plenty. I didn't know what it was exactly to me. And when she explained it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then more obligation, that just makes sense. You got to pay your bills, right?
Right.
You need to pay your bills. So, so that's a great question. It really is.
Any additional comments or questions?
Yeah, another one. On the agenda, item 10, what was the hourly rate proposed by the judges?
It was, I know in court was 75
75 for both.
for both, actually. So, and that was under the assumption that everything was paid at 100%, and that was basically is that the max level they could go to?
Yeah.
So that was under the assumption that, hey, it's paid at 100%, why not just go straight to that? Unfortunately, the talking point's 100%, but then when you start digging into the allocation, it's truly not, which is where our pulse has always been. What happens when the fund runs out? Because it will. And then ultimately that obligation will hit us for a percentage of, it was $75 on each line item. Nothing else?
Yeah.
On the agenda?
One from Melissa Bennett. How is the SOAR project going to help Minford schools financially?
I'm sorry.
How's the SOAR project going to help Minford schools financially?
Yeah, she goes on to say more, but the question itself is, how is the SOAR project going to help Minford schools financially?
Would you like to tackle that one?
Oh, golly, there's several ways. One thing we have talked to them, and maybe this may have a little bit to do with it, Robert. I know we talked about tax abatements, and we have not done anything on that as far as not out there. We've met with the school board out there, but what you have is you have people that are going to work out there. They are going to spend money. There's sales tax. They're going to, you have people buying products throughout the community. There's restaurants. There's hardware stores, things like that they're going to buy. Schools get portion of the sales tax.
Property tax.
As more jobs are created, people move into the community. You have more students. Now, that I think Minford can absorb right now. Those are good problems to have whenever you have more people living in your community, paying taxes. And then there's other things that can be done depending on the project itself. One of the things we do TIFs, we've got other things that we can do out there that can be a benefit to the school. Depends on, it's just negotiation. It's all about negotiation. But there are ways that they do benefit. Directly, at times, could. That it just depends. But then also indirectly through sales tax creation, basically. Robert, do you have anything you want to add to that, or?
Well, yeah, you touched on employment,
Oh,
adding
yeah.
jobs, which is also true. But, one of the main things we're gonna see is on the general revenue that the company itself produces. And, if I'm not mistaken, the school gets a the biggest chunk of that from the company itself. So not only are you getting the money turnover through the employee himself or herself and that aspect, but the company that would be brought in
Right.
will be a big benefit directly to the schools.
Yeah. And one of the things we've always been very cognizant of, and we know it hurt Green Schools years ago when there was 100% abatement given to Suncoast. Now, when that happened, I mean, there was a lot of, there was a great desire to bring in an establishment of that size, and but it actually ended up because there was no tax received because of the abatement. You had all these entities, the schools, you had their EMS, trustees. When you're supporting all of these things that have to be done to support an agency or a company like that, when there's no money coming in, then it causes a real strain on services. So one of the things we're very cognizant of is in order to get in kind of abatements, you got to come to the table with some real strong numbers as far as employment and revenue and what you're actually bringing to the community in order to get anything. Nothing's free, and there's cost to everything, and there's also other ways through negotiations with the state and finding ways to fund companies without just giving them a free ride on property tax and everything else. It's just, we don't have to go there. There's other avenues, and we have been very, when I came into office, I know we met with the Green Township trustees and the Porter Township trustees, which was a big part of what's going on down there in that part of the county. And, they said, please don't give away the farm on this stuff, which I heard loud and clear. So we're very, 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 very careful on what we do, Robert.
And even because Green and Porter have the enterprise center, but even when you sit down with that, first and foremost, the county and our departments can only go up to 50% abatement.
Right.
Without anyone's permission, period. So that can happen, but still, anything over that, the school boards will make that decision, not anybody else. That will be the school board's decision. They are the one. And even if they did give 100% abatement, well, a lot of people think, oh, well, you're giving it all away. No, you're not. The attorneys go to the table, the school board and our board, everybody comes to the table, the company comes to the table, and you make a deal. And that's where what you just said comes in, and I've preached it since I've been here. When you sit at that table, don't give away the farm. And that has happened in the past from the records I've pulled and looked at. So can you say, well, yeah, they were unfair deals? Probably so, but I don't think the one who got that deal realized it at the time. They saw a big number, well, we're going to give you this up front, but you're going to give us this for 15 years. And they got excited when they saw that number and didn't think about, they took that number. Well, it's gone in 2 years. So you get counsel, and right now, Green and Porter, for example, they're using one of the best in the state, Brickler and Ecker.
Mm-hmm.
And we all sit down, all of these RFIs we do that we're doing down here in the Haverhill region for the heavy industrial corridor, we sit down with the school board, then they go to their council. We give them all the numbers that the company's investing, and we do a deal. And it's pretty substantial.
Yeah, and we had prepared Medford School Board for this
Yeah,
very
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Robert and I went and presented to the Medford School Board, and as far as I know, it's in the hands of their superintendent and their treasurer
And in our council.
and our council.
Yeah,
I
our
don't think
attorneys.
they've come back to us
Not
with
yet.
their thoughts or ideas, but it's still early.
Well,
It
what-
is, but we did this a year ago.
Yeah, where it is now, right now, it's with Frost, Brown and Todd.
Yeah,
They're gonna do a preliminary, and then they'll review it, and we'll go from there.
yeah. So
But,
we're there, it's time
Yeah.
to talk, but we just wanted them to have a good understanding. We went out there with the designs and plans and just, here's the general understanding of what we're doing. And, you know, I thought it was well received, you know, that
It
they
was.
know exactly what the process is. But we're getting close to the point to where, you know, we really need to have a general understanding as to what can be agreed upon and what the parameters are.
Correct.
And so, yeah, it's been very transparent and very open, and that was a good meeting that
Right.
night.
And that'll only take place if a particular company specifically requests it.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't request it, it won't be brought up. Simple as that.
Yeah.
All right, any additional questions? We're off the agenda still.
Colin Doctorman, what percentage of sales tax goes to fund our local schools?
57, I think it is.
We'd have to get you that exact number.
51.
51? I'm gonna trust Commissioner Davis here, 51?
Oh, boy. Pretty sure.
It's the majority.
It's a piece of the pie.
It's the most of, yeah.
Are we off the agenda question?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That was the last one.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, how are you? Mark Raycraft, do you wanna give Mark a microphone? I know it's dangerous giving Mark a microphone, but we'll try it
It's
today.
51.
Actually,
I don't have it in front of me.
I came here today to vote. And I wanted to ask about, voter turnout is 15-20% usually of the registered voters.
Yeah.
What can we do, say, how can we promote even a 10% increase in voter turnout? And talk about, the off-year elections, even though they may be off-year on the national front, they're very much on the local front. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my understanding, just talking to Julia, or hearing her present Tuesday, I believe, I think we had a whole 60-some people go through and vote downstairs, and that was as of Tuesday. So voter turnout right now is very low. How do you energize people? Gosh, if somebody would have figured that out, I think we probably would have been at 100%. But it truly comes down to getting people engaged about, personally, our campaigns or your or an issue. If most people, if they're not super excited one way or the other, the reality is everybody has lives going on. So how do you get them engaged? And gosh, Mark, if you have that answer, I mean, it is the media talking and trying to get just people out. Hey, it's going on. We have early voting right now. You can come vote. It's the easiest way to vote by far. I don't know how long it took you this morning, but you was probably the only one there, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. You can come on your lunch break. You come at your leisure. You're not locked into a day, which I like personally. I know some people. I already got me. Well, you got to take a picture with the sticker, so maybe that's what it is. It's just where's your sticker?
Gotta stick.
Where's your sticker campaign? But yeah, it's some people like the thrill of election day and going to their individual polling place. But right now, it does look like it could potentially be a low turnout. Is that linked to the redistricting that's going on? That doesn't affect the current race. In our district or our county, it only affects basically state representative race and statewide committee folks for either party. Those were the only two impacted locally. Now, in other counties, because they're so cut up and there's so many different, they were impacted quite a bit. I know within the city of Portsmouth, there's a pretty important issue on for roads. You know, there's a tax on to get more money for paving roads. That might bring people out in Portsmouth. But in terms of the county, it's, right now, the election's pretty much candidate driven. There's not issues on. We see issues drive people, sometimes candidates don't. It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. So from your vantage point, it's you're the media, you know, you have a reach. How do you continue to just push the message and put out the information is really all we can do. I know I've been doing that. I know Brian's been doing that as well. $1 million question. And if somebody cracks that code, you know, we'll see a drastically different
Probably.
community.
I don't think it will get cracked by elected officials or media. My personal opinion on that
Yeah,
is you're gonna have to get your neighbors talking to neighbors.
yeah,
You're gonna have to go back to the old school that we had lost in our society over the last 30 years. You know, you're gonna have to go out, if you're a voter, you're gonna have to go to your cousin and your brother and your neighbor and encourage them to get back involved because they've gotten such a distaste in their mouths
Apathy. Yeah.
with all the fighting and all the craziness over the last 30 years. And I know this because I was guilty of it.
Get back on those front porches.
And that's what it's gonna take. We've gotta start talking to each other again.
yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
That's a good point, Ron.
Yeah.
As community leaders ourselves, we need to, you know, impress upon our community the importance of voting all year long, not just for the primary, you know, not the big talks about the primary, not the big talks about general election, but we need to encourage the residents of our county to think about this all year long. And I think that's the only way we can do it. I mean, it is so important to get everyone out to vote. But sadly, we see the numbers at the end of every election, and they're always down, even nationally. So I suppose it's important for us for all of us, to encourage people all year round, not just.
That's a good point.
Well, and the apathy saying my vote doesn't matter, I forget, and it was a shocking number of how many elections statewide was won by one vote. And in some cases,
Or a
the
coin
flip of a
toss.
coin,
Yeah.
if there's a tie, you
Yeah.
flip the coin and congratulations, you leave it up to chance. So, I mean, that, and getting our young folks engaged, I think, in making policy decisions and letting them know and truly understand how their voice does matter throughout the election cycles as well. So that's a loaded question. It's a tough question that I don't know that anybody's figured that one out, but I do appreciate the question, and it's a good timing for the question because right now we are seeing low voter turnout so far. So
When I used to gather with my grandkids for dinners and things like that, well, Doug put this into place. You had to put your cell phone out on the table. And so if we just do something as small as that, put those cell phones here and use that opportunity to talk about government, local governments and the issues. It's just a few minutes, but it helps.
Sure.
We all need it. We all need
disconnect.
to disconnect a little.
I think moms and dads need to instill that in their children, that when your time comes and you're old enough. I was out in the parking lot yesterday, and I had some signs, not mine, okay, not mine, but they were county government signs. This is National County Government Month, and we were given a couple of signs to put out at the courthouse to let everybody know that how important. It says Stronger County, Stronger Ohio. I don't know if you saw them when you were coming in, but I was putting a sign there. Of course, I was worried that somebody would think it was mine, but we would never do that. But I'm putting it in, and this young man comes by, and he looks, and he goes, "Oh, who's running for office?" I said, "Oh, it's not that." And he looked at me, and he said, "Who are you?" And I said, I'm Brian Davis, I'm one of your county commissioners. He goes, is that right? And this guy was probably in his younger 20s. And I asked him, I said, where do you live? And he told me he lives here in town up in Kendall Heights. And I asked him, I said, have you voted yet? And he looked at me and goes, no, I haven't. And I said, are you a registered voter? And he goes, actually, I am. And I said, well, you know, early voting's going on. He was on his way into the courthouse. And I said, early voting's going on. Won't take you 5 minutes if you want to do that. And he said, I didn't know that. He didn't know. And lo and behold, I went in there and I passed the sheriff auction. They was having the sheriff auction. I went past there, and he was walking into the Board of Elections to vote. And he did. He voted. So it was as simple as that, helping people know and understand what's going on. And then while I was standing out there, I saw a first-time voter. She just turned old enough to vote. Driving by, she lowered her window down. She said something nice, and I said, "Did you vote?" And she goes, "First time," like that. So it's all about communicating. It's that time of year, and just letting people know what's going on. And we need to instill that in our children and let them know that their vote does count. And it's very important for people to vote.
And the fact, voting is a privilege granted to us. There's so many countries that don't have, we can look at the national or the world stage right now and see, but it's a privilege. And so we should impress that to our younger generations too. You're not forcing them to do it. You're not taking anything away from it. It is a privilege to vote.
Well, and take your kids to the polls.
Yes.
Let them see it.
Teach 'em.
Let them
Yeah.
see what's going on. I mean, we do that with our kids, and they get excited, and I give them a sticker. I don't let them pick my choices for me, but they get a sticker at least, and but they get excited about it. So how do you, as parents, I think it's our duty to do that and instill that responsibility. So, any additional questions? Nothing? Nothing?
You guys talk me into voting, okay?
All right. Just downstairs.
Literally
Just
5 minutes.
downstairs.
5 minutes. It'll be so easy, so quick in and out.
So, with that, any additional comments? Commissioner
Easter
Davis?
Cave this weekend, continuing on. And it looks like we have another question here. Easter Cave continuing on. Very important for everybody to understand that if you need handicap access, please get online, get on the Facebook page. There is a sign up for that. Luke 5 Ministries is doing that, gaining access. We also have a way to get people to the top of the hill now. You don't have to walk to the top of the hill. We can get you up there, no problem, which is always seems to be the biggest problem because it's an incline where once they're on flat level ground, they're good to go. It's just that incline is a problem. So, and it's not a major incline, it's just enough to be a problem. So it's going on again, 3 to 9, Friday and Saturday, but not on Sunday this week because it's Easter and we like to have our crew home with their families on Easter Sunday. And then we'll be back next weekend, the weekend after Easter. So please come out. Had a great turnout. I think they said we already have 9 states that have been there, people from 9 states. And I saw that one of those was South Carolina. So they've come a long way. And literally when they were asked, were you up here visiting? They said, no, we came to see this.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a long way to drive, but it is amazing. It is free. They ask for a $1 donation to cover expenses, but you come, don't worry about that. And it helps us pay our parking crews as well to get you in and out as quick as possible. So if you can, make it out. We'd love to see more local people come. I know, Betty, thank you for covering the Easter Cave. They're very good to come out and interview and talk to people and just show everybody what's going on. Thank you so much for that. And we would love, like I said, we'd love to see more local people come. We get people from all over the country, and it just seems like our local people don't realize the treasure that we have out there, and thousands have already been there this year in one weekend. So come on out and enjoy it. It's free. It's a casual walk. And if you're claustrophobic, you don't have to worry about that. My wife is claustrophobic. The mines are huge. You can drive cars through them. I mean, they are literally giant, so you don't have to worry about
you
that.
can't drive cars through them. They're big enough to.
I can. But anyways, yeah,
Clarify.
not
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
can do
clarify.
that. But no, we would appreciate, but we would appreciate everyone to come out, please. It's a great experience.
There is one more item that I'd like to add to the agenda, and I will let Jen explain it.
She just we just needed to authorize the clerk to advertise a notice to bidders, and you can explain the project.
It is for paving at the Earl Thomas Conway Park
Yes.
for the path, the walk path. So with the contractors getting their schedules in order, we want to get this put through so we can accept bids as soon as possible, so we can get that started.
Yeah, this is the 1 mile walk trail. This was the NatureWorks grant. Brian Howard's been great. He's done a lot of the work himself, cutting the trail. It's the 1 mile upper rim trail. It'll be paved for walking, biking, hike, whatever, ADA access. It's awesome. We need to get paving
So we
on the
just need to-
schedule. He's done a lot of the work himself, but now the $50,000 we received from NatureWorks from ODNR will pay for the paving. So yes.
So we just need your approval to bid or to
Yeah,
advertise.
I just
the
need you
project.
to
Okay.
approve that, yes.
So let's add that to item number 25. Thank you, Commissioner Coleman.
Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye. Commissioner Coleman, do you have any additional comments or questions?
No, I just hope everyone enjoys their Easter weekend. Be safe and spend time with your family. And if there's shut-ins or elderly that you could visit, I'm sure they'd be pleased to spend some time with you.
Yes.
Happy Easter to everyone.
And likewise, Easter weekend, there are a lot of community events, Easter egg hunts throughout the county. I know there's a lot of time and energy put into these events. There's always donations by multiple, all the reason to support our local businesses because they are the ones that are donating to events like the Easter egg hunts and the prizes and things that you see. So get out there and support those, get the kids outside. But other than that, if we can get a motion to adjourn, I don't think we have anything else.
I think I'd just like to say one more thing, and I'm sorry. Please go and attend your place of worship that you choose, and let's all remember that as much fun as it is about Easter bunnies and chocolate, and I'll stress chocolate, and things like that, let's all remember what Easter's really supposed to be all about, and that is the death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And I want to add that as part of the record.
Well, and I appreciate that. That is a perfect way to end this meeting. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis? Mr. Powell?
Hi. Thank you so much for everybody that joined in person, for everybody watching. Have a very, very happy Easter.